Hello students, now we are going to discuss about regarding program structure of VHDL. Okay, program structure of VHDL. So in previous class we discussed about regarding VHDL design flow. Okay, in previous class we discussed about regarding VHDL design flow. Now we are going to discuss about regarding program structure of VHDL, right? So whatever the VHDL language that is having some program structure here, right? So this program structure of VHDL contains these 5 modules. Okay, so first one is entity declaration, second one is architecture, third one is configuration declaration, fourth one is package declaration, fifth one is package body. Okay, so these 5 are in program structure of VHDL, right? Now we discuss about these 5 modules in detail, right? Now coming to the first one, entity declaration. Okay, entity declaration. So here an entity is a basic block of VHDL code. Okay, entity is a basic block of VHDL code that provides the specification of input and output signals. Okay, the entity which provides the specification of input and output signals and the modes of a hardware module. Okay, once again I am repeating, the entity is a basic block of VHDL code that provides the specification of input and output signals and modes of a hardware module. Okay, so it also provides the interface between the device and other external peripherals. Okay, it also provides the interface between the device and other external peripherals. If we want to connect the external peripherals, then it shows the interface between the device and that external peripherals. Fine. Now this entity is modeled by an entity declaration and architecture body. Okay, entity declaration is modeled by an entity declaration and a architecture body. Now we see about regarding first one, entity declaration here. Okay, entity declaration, right? So if you see the syntax here, right? So here it is having first one, entity name is port of signal names colon mode signal type semicolon and so on. Write it as signal names colon mode signal type bracket close semicolon and then end entity name. So in this entity declaration, it should start with the entity keyword. Okay, it should start with the entity keyword. So here you have written here entity keyword here. So and it has to terminate with the end keyword, right? So it has to end with start with the entity keyword and it has to end with the end keyword, right? So same like in C language, right? We are opening the cursor, we are opening the flower bracket and we are closing the forward bracket over there, right? Same here. So here it has to start with the entity keyword and it has to end with the end keyword, right? Next, there are various elements in this entity declaration. Okay, there are various elements in this entity declaration. First one, entity name. Okay, already we have written here, right? Entity name here. Okay, entity name could be anything. Okay, entity name could be anything which is selected by a programmer to the name entity. Okay, for the entity name we are giving the name here, right? That is the entity name and that can be selected by the programmer. Okay, next one, signal name. Whatever you have written signal name here, right? Signal name are the set of user defined identifiers. Okay, signal names are the set of user defined identifiers to give the name to the external interface signals. Okay, signal names are the external which are the user defined identifiers to give the name to the external interface signals, right? Those we will see by the example, right? Next, here port is there, right? Port. So in case of port, we may define the input signals and output signals, right? Input signals and output signals we can define over it. Okay, so next signal names, that are user defined identifiers to give the name to the external interface signals, right? And next one, here mode is written, right? Mode. Okay, mode is used to describe the ports. Okay, mode is used to describe the ports here. Whatever you are using the signal names in ports, right? The mode is used to describe the ports here based on the signal direction. Okay, based on the signal direction, there are 4 types of ports are there. Okay, there are 4 types of ports are there. So if you see here, so here first one is in, second one is out, third one is in out, fourth one is buffer. Okay, coming to the first one, in. So it is used for a unidirectional input. Okay, in is used for unidirectional input signal, right? That is for a signal which is input to an entity. Okay, it is used for a unidirectional input signal, and it is used for a signal which is input to an entity. Next, out. It is used for unidirectional output signal. Okay, it is used for unidirectional output signal, that is for a signal which is output from an entity. Okay, for a signal which is output from an entity. Next, in out. It is used for bidirectional signal. Okay, first two are the unidirectional signals here, input and output signals. Here it is the bidirectional signal. Okay, in out. And next one is buffer. Okay, buffer is used for a unidirectional output signal. Okay, buffer is used for a unidirectional output signal, and its value can be read inside the architecture. Okay, its value can be read inside the architecture. So these 4 are the modes we are used in port here, right? So these are the 4 type of ports are there, right? So those are the modes here: in out, buffer, right? So there are regarding mode here, right? Next one, signal type. Okay, next one is signal type. Signal type is a user defined signal. Okay, signal type is a user defined signal, right? That we will see by the example, right? And the entity should be end with the keyword end, right? So always the entity can be should start with the entity keyword, and it has to end with the end here, right? And entity name should be given by, can be given by the programmer here, right? In case of port, we can write the in and output signals, right? In, out, buffer, right? In, out signals we can describe over it, right? In case of port. Okay, so there are 4 types of ports are there, right? In, out, and then buffer. So these are the 4 ports. Okay, and the entity should be end with the end keyword, right? So that is regarding entity declaration syntax. Okay, this one is the syntax for entity declaration. Okay, now we see the example here. Okay, so here we have given an input example for entity declaration. So what here written? Entity boolean expression. So we are giving the name boolean expression. Okay, it is starting with the entity keyword. Entity boolean expression is. Okay, now port. So in case of port, we have to define the input and output signals here, right? Port A, B, C, D, right? Colon in std underscore logic. Okay, std underscore logic semicolon. And Y is the output here. A, B, C, D are the input signals. Y is the output signal, right? And std underscore logic. So that are the user defined signals here, right? So that are the user defined signals. Signal type. Std underscore logic indicates signal type here, right? So next, again close the bracket and end with the semicolon. Fine. Next, last one, the entity declaration is end with the end keyword. So end entity name, whatever you have given the first boolean expression, that we have to write here. End boolean expression, right? So first it has to start with the entity name, entity keyword, right? And then entity name, right? Entity boolean expression is port. In case of port, we have to define the input and output signals here, right? Here the input variables are A comma B comma C comma D. So all these are the signal names. Okay, whatever you are giving the circuit, right, there are the input signal names here, right? A B C D are the input signal names, right? And that are the in, right? So that's why we have written it as colon in. Next, and std underscore logic, that is signal type, and in is the mode name here, right? And next one, y is the output here. Okay, that's why we have given it as out std underscore logic. Okay, next bracket close, and it has to end with the semicolon. And last one, the entity declaration should be end with the end keyword. That's why we have written here end boolean expression. Fine. So this one is the example for entity declaration. Okay, so now coming to this second module, that is the architecture. Okay, second one is architecture here. So here the architecture body is another basic block of entity declaration. Okay, sorry, architecture body is another basic block after entity declaration in VHDL code. It is another block, okay, basic block after the entity declaration. So first we have to declare the entity, right? Afterwards we have to write the architecture here. Fine. Now we discuss about this architecture. So it provides the internal detailed information of an entity. Okay, it provides the internal detailed information of an entity by using any of the modeling styles. Here the modeling styles are of three types. First one is of structural style, second one data flow style, third one behavioral style. Okay, it provides the internal detailed information of an entity by using any of three modeling styles. Those three are the first one structural style, second one data flow style, and third one behavioral style. Now coming to the structural style. Okay, in structural style a set of interconnected components are used. Okay, in case of structural style a set of interconnected components are used. Next, in data flow style a set of concurrent assignment statements are used. Okay, in data flow style a set of concurrent assignment statements are used, right? Next, in behavioral style a set of sequential assignment statements are used. Okay, so by seeing the examples we define these statements over there, right? So totally three, we are using the three modeling styles. First one is of the structural style, second one data flow style, and third one behavioral style. Okay, now we see the syntax for this architecture. Okay, here it is, the syntax is there. So architecture name of entity name is declarations begin statements has to end with the semicolon here. Next, end keyword architecture name, and it has to end with the semicolon. Fine. Next, this architecture body, okay, whatever the architecture body must begin with a keyword architecture. Okay, here we have written, right, in syntax the architecture body has to start with the architecture keyword, and it has to terminate with the end keyword. Okay, it has to start with the architecture keyword and it has to end with the end keyword. Fine. Now coming to this architecture name. Okay, architecture name, it is a user defined name. Okay, it is a user defined name given to architecture body, and it must be associated with an entity name. Okay, it must be associated with the entity name. So here we have written the architecture name of entity name is, right? So it is a user defined name and it must be associated with an entity name. Next, coming to declarations. Okay, declarations. So in this section different signals types, okay, different signals types, that are the constants, functions, variables, procedure definitions and component definitions are declared. Okay, in this section different signals types, next constant, functions, variables, procedure definitions and component definitions are declared here. So in case of declarations block, Next, begin. Okay, begin. It is a predefined keyword. Okay, in case of VHDL code, begin is a predefined keyword used to keep the statements within the architecture body. Okay, begin is a predefined keyword. It is used to keep the statements within architecture body, right? And next one, statements here. So in case of statement section, based on the style of modeling, various statements can be used, that is either sequential or concurrent. Okay, in case of statements section, based on the style of modeling, various statements can be used, that is either sequential or concurrent. Okay, so that is regarding architecture body here. Okay, architecture syntax. So this one is the syntax for architecture. Okay, in next class we discussed about regarding configuration declaration, package body. So up to now we have discussed regarding these two, first two, that is the entity declaration and then architecture. So in next class we discussed about regarding configuration declaration, package declaration and package body. Okay, we'll see in next video. Okay, thank you all. Thank you.